Who are you?
You don't remember last night?
Did we?
This is Will Tennyson, YouTube's biggest fitness creator who's grown to over 3 million subscribers and 1 billion views. But his journey wasn't always easy.
I was tired of going to bed crying every night. I was literally in tears because I was so overworked.
Stress was overwhelming.
Talking to some of my guys on YouTube and I was like, I think I'm gonna quit. I think I'm done. Because it was like so mentally taxing on me.
He even pushed himself to the limit, physically and mentally.
I went through a pair of Nikes, I bled through them. Like literally the last hour, my wife was physically carrying me because I couldn't walk.
But then something clicked.
And you scroll it and you see that video, anything after that, boom.
This is the untold story of how Will Tennyson went from making videos in his mom's basement to becoming one of YouTube's biggest creators.
Well, Will, thanks for joining us on the 1 of 10 podcast. Let's go from the beginning. What did you do before YouTube?
So I was a personal trainer. So I was doing that full time. I actually had a pretty good business going. I wasn't working at a commercial gym. I had my own business. I was getting my own clients from word of mouth and stuff. And then I started doing YouTube as a passion project on the side. And the reason why I started doing YouTube was because growing up in school, I was a very shy kid. I always had the option of you can either present your project in front of the class live or record a video so you don't have to actually be up front in real time.
Yeah.
So I'd always opt to make a video. And then because of making those videos, I became more creative and I enjoyed certain cuts and stuff. And then once I finished school, I didn't really have that outlet to make videos and I was missing that. So I started just doing YouTube for fun. And that slowly became such an intense passion that I was taking away from my actual job where I was making money.
Right. At what age is that?
25, 24, 25. And then I remember still doing my job. My mom's like, hey, let's go for a walk. So we're going for a walk and she's like, I really think that you need to start building your personal training business and kind of put that YouTube stuff to the side.
Oof.
Yeah, she's like, it's time to just kind of, let's work on what's making you money.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, I'm enjoying this. And that was in October, kind of in that time period, that's when it all really started to kind of all of a sudden just blow up. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're still in kind of disbelief today.
I also know you were, I think, top 30, top 20 Halo player. How's that? What year is that?
So let's talk about stuff. Yeah, so I played a hard to admit amount of hours of Halo 3.
Right.
Yeah, so me and my closest friends would play for hours a day. Even on school nights, I'd stay up all night. Mm-hmm. I'd put the Turtle Beach headsets on so you couldn't hear the TV. My parents wouldn't know I'm playing. Yeah, I just got I got so addicted to it, and just the ranking system of that game was one of the things that hooked me. And I just had to be the top of the game. Usually with everything I do, I'm very I gotta try to be the best at it.
Yeah.
So I got obsessed with it, and I got to the point that I was playing MLG, Major League Gaming, competitions and stuff.
You would travel.
Yeah, I do some LAN stuff. I do a lot of online stuff. I thought that was gonna be my life.
Were you making money from that?
No. Yeah, I would have maybe Dr. Pepper send me a couple cans, and I was like, yeah, let's go. And then
that was at grade 9, right?
Grade 8, grade 9, yeah.
And while doing that, you were also a hockey player on Team Canada?
So I was a hockey player. We traveled Europe as Team Canada. So we played a lot of the top teams in Switzerland, Germany. Yeah, we did a whole 2-week trip where we just went out and played all the top teams. And at that time we were 14, 15.
Were you doing both at the same time? The MLG competition and the hockey?
Yeah.
How did you manage that?
Gaming through the night, and then hockey in the reasonable hours of the night. So when 10 p.m. comes, people think it's bedtime. For me, that's 5 more hours at least of video game.
It seems like you're killing it everywhere you go, right? This is where it all started, and then you started YouTube. So can you tell us more about this room?
So a lot of firsts in this room. Yeah. That's for sure. Some I don't want to really admit, but in terms of fitness, this was kind of where it all started. My dad got me into the gym. He put a couple pieces of paper on the wall with a few really basic workouts, do a couple dumbbell curls and stuff. So the reason he actually got me into lifting was because I had an eating disorder where I lost a lot of weight super quickly. I was very weak, and so he was sneaking olive oil in my protein shakes for me to get calories in. Okay. And he's like, you got to start building some muscle here. So he got me going.
That changed your life.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of funny because I'm transforming him now for a video. So it's kind of it's cool how it's a full circle moment. But yeah, so I started coming down here, just doing some very basic stuff. And then, you start to see that progress pretty quick because you're pretty new to it. And you see the bicep vein, and then you kind of get hooked. And from there, I finally built up some confidence to get a gym membership. I like to think that a lot of people like to watch my channel because I've been bigger, I've been super skinny, so I've been kind of all spectrum, so I can relate to a lot of people, Right. So whenever I make videos, I can sympathize and I can understand where a lot of
Very
people,
relatable.
Yeah, because a lot of guys are just they've only ever grown up skinny and jacked, so they kind of don't understand the struggles of dealing with body image issues, just being bigger. So I think that the perspectives that I bring are, you know, more relatable, more refreshing. The treadmill where I spent way too much time on, because when I lost all the weight, I was just running. For some reason, I was afraid of weights, but I was just like, I'm gonna come on here and just run. I was like almost like marathon level. I could probably run a marathon pretty easily.
Are you gonna do it?
No, definitely not anymore. Added this like cable thing where it's like kind of like a Bowflex. It's like an all-in-one. The bench press, and then a lot of people who are maybe watching this would know Ollie's gym with my dog, who started the channel with me. People liked him more than me, understandably. We would do like the intros together, and he became very much like the main character. And when he passed away, we actually did like a merch drop for him, and then all the proceeds went to the SPCA.
Oh, that's nice.
And that was the first time we actually sold out everything in like 10 minutes. The site crashed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was cool, and like it was like a very, that's probably one of my favorite moments, because it was just like the love that people had for this dog that they don't even really know. It was cool.
It was a nice community.
Exactly,
movement.
yeah. And there's even still to this day, people are like, oh, I miss him, and you know, it took me a long time to like, I was like, I'm never gonna get a dog again, because I never really remembered life without him, because when I got him, I was only like 12. I got Boba now, and it's kind of nice. It's nice to have a new dog now. Yeah.
The 0 subs days. So when you first started YouTube, what was the first video?
The first video was, I did 10,000 calories in Halo Top ice cream. Yeah, because I kind of have like, I mean, my older sister's a lawyer, my younger sister is a doctor, and then I'm just kind of like nothing. I guess my superpower is I can eat a lot of food. So I was like, I'm gonna try eating as much low calorie ice cream as possible. It's never been done. So that was my first video, and it destroyed my stomach.
And how did that perform? Like, what was your growth like?
I remember specifically after one day, it had 89 views.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
A specific number. I remember specifically that 89 views, kind of going like that. I didn't care though.
Right.
Like when I first started, I actually didn't even know you could have a career on YouTube or even make money on YouTube. I was just simply uploading to YouTube with no intention of anyone watching the videos.
Yeah, which happens often. Actually.
Yeah, and I think that was actually like a huge blessing, that I didn't have any expectations for myself. I was just like, having fun. And I like one of my like 5th videos, I did like Mark Wahlberg's routine. And I remember my mom, she goes to Orange Theory, that public hit training class. Yeah. And she's like, oh, I hope you don't mind, but I told everyone that you made this video. And I'm like, oh my God, Mom. I got like so embarrassed, and because I had no intention. But now, and then like now it's funny, because now she's like, oh, do you mind if I tell people that you made this video? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Like, you know. Yeah, so I mean, it was just kind of like slowly, like once a week I was doing it, and then I came into like twice a week I was doing it. And I was twice a week filming and then also editing my videos. So it became very life consuming really quick. Yeah, and then the growth started to kind of gradually just kind of go. It went from like nothing to like boom, like really quick. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm doing this full time. I kind of just like never intended to do it. I wanted to be a chef. I was gonna go to Cordon Bleu school.
Oh, you wanted to be a chef?
I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to go to Cordon Bleu in Ottawa, open a restaurant, and I was gonna go, and then all of a sudden I was making money doing this, and I was like, okay, let's just try this and see how this goes for like a year. And then I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm doing this.
You grew from 0 to 10K subs in just 6 months, and you'd say the Mark Wahlberg video is the one that blew you up at that time?
I wouldn't say there was one video. It was like all of them were kind of like low, and then all of a sudden, randomly, it was like.
And at that time, you were posting twice a week?
Yeah.
Just for fun at that time?
Yeah.
Not the goal to be a full-time YouTuber?
Yeah.
Who were you watching at that time? Who were your...
I was watching a lot of Max Tuning. I don't know if you know him.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Max Tuning. A lot of
sold his candy.
Yeah. A lot of Christian Guzman. I really watched like those guys a lot. Like I didn't have a lot of friends in school. So like that's kind of like where I would just gravitate towards. I would sit down and just like watch. And like the reason why I liked them is because they were so like personable. And it almost just seemed like they were talking to you. It wasn't like overly produced, and it was like very vloggy. Right. And that's kind of like what resonated with me, which kind of inspired my content now. Yeah.
Did you have an Instagram popping at that time?
No.
Or that came after?
I'm not very social media at all. Like still I'm not. Like I get in trouble all the time. Like, oh, you don't post enough Instagrams. Like I never hit my quotas for stuff, because I'm very quiet, reserved, don't like center of attention, not about posting my life. I very much have like my YouTube and then me.
You'd say you're an introvert, or?
I would say I'm like an introvert, extrovert. I can put it on if I need to put it on.
Right.
I'm not shy at all. Like I'll be an idiot like anywhere. It's more like I don't have a lot to say.
Got it.
Yeah. So you won't shut the fuck up right now.
So 100K to 1 million sub. That was a crazy ride for 2 years, as I saw. Is there one or a few video that you think helped you pop?
I don't know if it was specifically videos, but more about my approach to the videos.
Okay.
Where I kind of went less personal with my content.
when less.
Less personal.
Okay.
In terms of like, I was still personal in my videos, but you had to click the video to find out who I was as a person. So like the concepts were a lot more broad. So like I think before I did a mixture of, you know, celebrity routines and all that stuff.
Yes.
But I did do a lot of vlogs, full days of eating, things where you actually had to know who I was as personally to watch the video. And then I started kind of like implementing in more mass appeal concepts where it just like, it's generally interesting. So you click on it and then you kind of learn about who I was as a person, you know, through the content.
Yeah.
So I just noticed like just from having more mass appeal videos, you just get more clicks. And that's kind of how things started to kind of even go faster.
Actually, one that I have in mind is my fat loss tips, right?
Yeah, that was one of my first ever, yeah.
Exactly, and I think that brought one of the most amount of subscribers for you.
Yeah.
How did you think of that video?
That one was funny because I filmed it, I was just on my couch and I was like, it was so simple. There was nothing really to it. I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying in my basement where it was like I was a kid who I've done it all, where I was big and I was skinny.
Yeah.
So I was just giving you like my just like genuine advice from being both of those sides. So I just think there was like a more of a relatability to what I was saying, more of an interest to what I was saying. And it was funny, I was surprised it did so well because I thought that the advice that I gave just seemed so basic. But it seems to like resonate with so many people. So
5
it's cool.
million views.
Yeah, and those are the videos that like make me feel the best. Because like, you know, like the simple videos where it's just me in like the simplest way, I feel very fulfilled by that because I'm like, okay, well, people are watching this because of the value that I'm bringing, watching it for me rather than me having like a massive banger collab or this like crazy video where I'm gonna go see something where it's not really about me that's making the video do well. It's about like what I'm currently doing.
Right.
So it's just nice when the simple ones do well.
Well, actually talking about that, being fulfilled by with that video, what is the actual reason of the whole channel?
The reason of the whole channel was like when I started watching YouTube, I was saying like I didn't have a lot of like friends. I didn't go out that much. I used it kind of like as an outlet for like happiness. I was dealing a lot with body image issues and never really like, I was just always like kind of like trying to beat myself up and never really happy with anything about myself. But when I was watching YouTube, I would laugh.
Right.
You know, I'd forget. And it was just kind of like that, like escape for me.
Yeah.
And I just felt really good. And I kind of want to be that for kids who were in my position. So it's kind of just like trying to be like the Max Tuning and Christian Guzman that they were for me.
There was a few other videos that stand out to my mind. The 100K steps. Can you talk more about that one? Because I think that one blew up for you as well at that
Unfortunately,
time.
I still deal with the issues today of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I destroyed my knee doing it. Yeah,
What?
so I got a patellar tear doing that video.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started that. I woke up at 4 in the morning and I just walked until literally like 11:59. It was 85 kilometers I walked that day.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
like 2 marathons.
Yeah. I went through a pair of Nikes. I bled through them.
You bled through
I bled
them?
through those. Yeah.
So while you were bleeding, you just went.
I was still walking.
Okay.
Like literally the last hour, my wife was physically carrying me because I couldn't walk. Like so, she'd like take me to the car, and I just like that was probably one of the hardest videos I've ever done.
Do you regret it?
If it's under 5 million views, I heavily regret it. And I think it is under 5 million views.
Yeah. 1.5 million views.
The answer is yes, I regret it heavily.
Again, you're still feeling.
I'm still feeling it, yeah.
Okay. And there's no.
I've tried everything.
Talking about that, is there any other videos where it actually injured you long term?
No,
Wow.
that's it. Yeah, I'm lucky. I've almost choked to death on a donut one time.
That's,
that was behind the scenes, never actually aired.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a low moment, but yeah, in terms of like
That's
actual
the low
physical
moment.
pain,
That's not too bad.
yeah. So yeah, I'm overall good.
And I'm actually wondering as well, what was your hardest video you've ever filmed?
The hardest video by far was a couple years ago. I went to the U.S. Marine base and I did like the fitness test.
Yeah.
But what no one knows is that I had the worst food poisoning of my entire life for 3 days prior to that. I was like, so we landed in LA.
Oh, okay.
We went for dinner. I was bedridden. I lost 13 pounds in 3 days. Like I was like pale, like I couldn't even move.
Okay.
But I flew down for that video. I got up and I was like, I came all this way to do the video. I'm doing it. So I did that video, like the most sick I've ever been in my life.
Okay.
So I didn't do the best I could have on the fitness test. I was getting roasted in the comments.
Right.
But so I didn't want to be one of those guys be like, oh, I was sick. But that was like the most physically taxing video I've ever done.
But that did well though, in terms of views.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Also at that time you said you were uploading twice a week, right?
I was still uploading twice a week. Yeah. And then I eventually went down to 6. So it'd be like 2 one week, 1 the next week, 2, 1, 2, 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it went to 1, 1, 1, and then now it's 1 every 10 days.
Can you tell the viewers why you switched from 2 times a week to less and less to now every 10 days?
I was tired of going to bed crying every night.
Were you actually crying?
I was literally in tears.
Why were you crying?
Because I was so overworked. It was like, I had a videographer at the time.
Right.
So we would shoot all day. He hands me the SD card, he gets to go home and enjoy the night. He gives me the SD card, I have to plug it in and I have to start editing. Because if you're uploading twice a week, it's like you gotta shoot, then you gotta edit, upload, what's the next video, plan it, shoot, upload. So I had like no free time, and like my girlfriend, who's now my wife, was just like, say, can we see each other for a bit? I'm like, yeah, no, I can't. Like, you know, so it was like, I had no time for anything else.
But why though? Why were you so, let's say, obsessed in making it happen?
I think because I was seeing the growth so fast, and like I was getting like, I got like my first paycheck, which was motivating. And like, I was like,
what was the first paycheck? Yeah,
$8,000.
$8,000.
$8,000.
Oh, wow.
That was in December. And it was just, I was a very money motivated kid.
Yeah.
So like when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, okay. It's like the more I do, the better. That was kind of my philosophy.
True, because you blew up from 10K subs to 100K in just a month.
Yeah, so I was just like a work machine. I was like, I'm gonna do whatever I can to do this, and I don't regret it.
Did you knew at that time you were going all in full time? Did you stop your personal trainer work at that time? Okay.
The second I got that paycheck, I was like, I'm done.
Okay, you went all in.
Yeah.
You were risking it all.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're now at around 700K subs, right? Yeah. From what I understood, there was a downturn there. What happened?
So COVID happened.
Okay.
So at the beginning of COVID, especially in Canada, we were really like limited to what we could do. So I was shooting a lot more in my house and making it happen. It was like it was fine. It was working, but I was getting kind of bored, and I was also getting kind of like worried because like all my, I don't know if I'd call them competition, but just everyone else in my niche was like in the States, able to actually live their lives. So I was like, oh, like, you know, if I'm like doing pretty decent in my basement and in my kitchen, like making videos, like if I go away to the States, like it's gonna be like way better, because it's gonna be like people are gonna see a different change of scenery and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, sweet. So I booked like a 3-week trip where I went and I shot like 16 or 17 videos.
16, 17 videos in 3 weeks?
Yeah.
What, 2 videos per week? You had 17, so it was good for like 2-3 months?
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those videos started coming out and they just started doing so bad.
What was so bad at the time? At
So
700,000
So I was saying, so I would say like my good videos, I'd be getting like, you know, 600,000 views, 500,000,
Okay.
like that. These ones like maybe hitting 150.
Oh wow!
So a huge slash, right? And on top of it, I was in quarantine, right? I was just like in my condo, like literally like so depressed.
And that's when everything was booming. Actually.
That's when everything was booming good. And then I came home and I put these videos out, and then it was going so bad. I couldn't leave my house. Like all these factors, I couldn't go to the gym, and I was just feeling so shit. And I was like talking to some of my guys on YouTube, and I was like, yo guys, like I think this is it for me. I was like, I think I'm gonna quit. Like I think I'm done. Like I was heavily considering just being like, this is it. I'm like done, because it was like so mentally like taxing on me.
So you were actually considering, okay, this is enough for me.
I was like, I actually thought that was it.
Wow.
For sure.
Okay.
And then I don't know.
And then how do you get out of that hole?
Then I kind of went back to like, I was looking at like what I was doing before, and I was like, okay, when I went away, I did way too much vloggy stuff.
Okay.
Again, I was like, I kind of just like, it was like way too personal. And I was like, why am I doing this? I was like, okay, I got to come back with a banger.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm going to do Michael Phelps's diet and training.
Okay.
Whereas like the 12,000 calorie diet and like all that, like insane, like the insane training routine. I'm like, I'm just going to come back with like a huge hitter and like make sure that.
Why Michael Phelps? Because at the time, was he already retired? Or?
So he, at the time, like his diet was like very like people were speaking about it.
Okay.
Celebrity routines in general were just doing well. And especially for like in the fitness niche, anything with a lot of calories would usually hit. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this.
So you
like,
continued studying, seeing what worked.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
doesn't.
So then I started just being like, becoming a little bit more selective. I dropped down the amount of videos I was doing. So I went from 2 a week down to like 2-1, 2-1, which was actually a lot. You don't think about 2 videos less a month is huge, right? So it gave me more time to actually think about things, ideation, and
optimization.
Yeah, and then I kind of slowly got back to where I kind of was, for a bit, and then it kind of then another level happened.
And guys, optimization does work. Let me tell you about a powerful tool to help you grow faster on YouTube. Check this out. Using 1of10.com, the team working with Will took inspiration from this viral idea and transferred that format into the fitness health niche. The result? It's blowing up to become one of Will's most popular videos of all time. By focusing on the right idea, title, and thumbnail, you're setting your videos up to go viral. 1 of 10 includes a suite of tools specifically designed to highlight overperforming videos and spark inspiration to find your next viral idea in just minutes. And the best part? With code POD50, you'll get 50% off for life. That means just one video with 25,000 views can cover an entire year's cost. So if you want to grow your channel faster, head over to oneof10.com. Now back to the video. How do you stay motivated in those times? Why continue, basically?
Because you come so far, you know, and you see like what you're capable of. And for me, I'm like, if I know I can perform at a certain level, that's my baseline standard, right? So if I see myself going below that, I have to ask myself the question, what's going on? Like, why is it this way? If I can do this, why am I here? Like, what am I doing differently? And the fact that I know I can do it, it's kind of like that motivating factor to get back to that. And then I also I think everyone just wants to get better, right? I think being content with what you have is great. Yeah. We should still strive to, you know, slightly improve. And yeah, so I think once I hit that, like, you know, that 1 million, and things were kind of going back to normal, the big pivotal change for me was I had my editor, who I didn't know at the time. He reached out to me and was like, "Yo, can I edit one of your videos for free?"
Oh wow!
And he's like, "Yeah, like, I'm just like, I love your channel. Like, I just think, just give me one chance."
Yeah.
Right. And I think like when you have a YouTube channel that's like decently large, like giving someone the chance to edit your video is like a huge risk, because I'd miss an upload day and stuff. And he was like so sure. He's like, "Dude, I'm gonna deliver this video, like, and it's gonna be like amazing." And I'm like, "Okay." I let him do it, and he gave me the video, and he just blew me away.
Because until then, you were editing everything?
So I was editing everything that I had another editor who I was working with too, and it was different. It was not like YouTube optimized. He didn't watch YouTube, he didn't consume it. He was more like in like the cinema background, so it was a lot more slow paced, like establishing shots, you know? Where this guy was like, I study YouTube, I watch YouTube, I understand some of the algorithm hacks and stuff.
Right.
And then I watched the video, I'm like, holy shit. And then we put that one out, and that was like my fastest growing video ever.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then ever since that one video.
What was the title?
It was the best versus worst gym in Miami. And ever since that video, that was like the changing point of my channel to this day. That video, if you look at my channel and you scroll it and you see that video, anything after that, boom.
Ooh, that's super interesting.
Yeah.
When was that?
That was 2022.
Why do you think it blew up?
Better editing, better retention. I had more confidence. I feel like there's a huge bonus, like working with an editor that you're confident in. Like, even if you don't feel necessarily confident in sometimes what you're shooting, you know that they're gonna help like turn it into something great.
Yeah.
And he had the eye for that. And I find he's like a super funny dude. So in moments where there wasn't really anything funny, he made the scene funny by like maybe like a slight cut in, you know, adding some certain animation. And I'm like watching it, I'm like, oh my God, this is like, he added so much of a personality to the videos.
Yeah.
And seeing those numbers kind of start to go up, like motivated me to be like, okay, let's try this, let's do this. And like, I kind of was like, okay, this worked really well. So now let's do the best versus worst gyms in New York. So kind of learning the idea of doubling down.
That's what I always say. You're one video away from blowing up, and actually one video away of changing your life, which we can see that here. We always see like a phase for YouTuber to go up, then it goes down, then plateau. But then there will be that one video that goes up, and then if you learn from it, then you can double down and triple down this format.
Yeah, and that's when I learned that like it's so important to have people on your team who know more than you. I used to edit my videos. I used to think I was decent. He can kick my ass. Like, he's way better. So it's like I think he's the best, like what he does for that. So it's like I learned from him. My videographer guy, he's amazing. Yeah, I could never do what he does. So it's like finding the best people for your team and just like letting them be the.
What is your full team?
Editor, videographer, a guy who does my thumbnails, and then I have a guy who helps me with pre-production. And they're all like super smart, and like if it wasn't for all of them together, it wouldn't be what it is.
So what does the revenue look like broken down, like in percentage?
Probably the AdSense, where it's like it's relatively the same. I could give you like a range that would be like pretty accurate, that I can like rely on. And then probably after that, it would be like sponsorships. And that would be like integrations, like women integrations.
How are you handling sponsorships?
So I work with an agency.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been working with the same guy. His name is Chaz. I've been working with him for almost 3 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's rare that I hear a long-term relationship like that with a manager. How did that start?
He approached me, And he just seemed like he was just like, hey, like let me just see what I can, like I can show you what I can do, and then it was good. And he seems like he was just a good guy. And
How did he prove he was good?
he was just like bringing me opportunities. There's a lot of like the basic ones that you get, and then there's like a little bit more of like the unique ones.
Right.
And he'd bring some of those ones.
Okay.
And also he's very patient with me because I turn a lot of them down because I'm like, unless I really, really, really like it, I won't do it because I think it takes away from the video. So he gets all these like really good opportunities, and I'm like, no, and he gets like mad, but he still sticks with it because he understands.
What would be number 3?
Cookbook,
Okay.
and then like then after
Well,
like kind of.
let's talk about cookbook because I'm sure it's really surprising for a lot,
Yeah.
right? Wouldn't be the first business people think. So how did that start, the cookbook?
So when I first started YouTube, almost all of my videos would end with a recipe of some degree. And then people got kind of used to that. And then I kind of almost became known as like a cooking YouTuber alongside the fitness YouTube stuff.
Okay.
Not so much anymore, I rarely do it, but it was like cooking was a big part of my like identity online. And people were like making videos and like reviewing some of my stuff, and so then we came up with the idea of like, let's get all of the recipes I've cooked on all of my all of my videos, and let's package them into one. So we kind of took that concept, we like packaged a lot of the stuff I've done on the videos, and then I also added recipes to make a book, and then it was an ebook copy.
Okay.
So people get it like instantly, so which
Right.
is like a great thing. And then we also have like a video link, so you can like click on it, and then it takes you to like showing me cooking it with you if you want to do that. So that's been a big success, and then we're working on more recipes now to add to it. Get it to
Nice.
100 recipes.
And do you want a physical book?
That's what we're working on right now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming soon?
Coming soon. This year, yeah.
Okay, so cookbook number 3. How many are you selling? Like what's the
I have
what's
not checked that in a very long time, but it's a reliable number that always, it's like, even though I don't really promote stuff, I'm not a big promoter in general, but it's
Yeah.
one of those ones that it's like constantly like,
Got it.
it's a surprise.
Do you so you never promote it at all in videos?
Not
you
as much
just
as
put it
not
in
as
a
much as I
link?
should. There's a link, and then my link tree in my Instagram, and people find it. And
Because that's your own business, so that should come in fluently in a diet video, for example. So
Yeah.
So I'm curious why not just
I just have a hard time
Okay.
promoting in general. I just don't feel good about it. I feel like I've definitely lost out on a lot of money opportunities because integrity is important to me.
yeah
And not to say like not to say like I can't promote my own business. It just makes me feel. And then I'd say underneath that would be like all other social media platforms would be like Snapchat, Facebook, any sort of like one-off Instagram things. Rarely do that much stuff on there. I don't do TikTok. So just
why not TikTok?
don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah, don't like TikTok. I don't like shorts in
That's
general.
fair.
I hate them. I hate shorts.
You only have 4 original ones, I
Yeah.
think, on the
Yep.
That's fair. You have the long form mentality.
Yeah.
You also did creator-led business, which is the Be Good Bakery.
Bakery, yeah.
Curious, how did that start, and how did it go?
So basically, it started because I love donuts. It was like the first one, and then
Yeah,
everyone-
Canadian, Tim
yeah,
Hortons.
Yeah, and everyone was like, "Oh, like Will, like because back in the day when I was cooking a lot, they'd be like, you got to make like eventually come up with a protein donut." And like I was,
Why donut specifically?
because like I'm a donut. Like I've been,
Oh,
like,
okay,
I eat them. Like I have like literally like my grandma made me a painting of donuts, and it's in my like condo on the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, everyone was just like, you gotta make protein donuts. And I was already thinking about that before people even started saying it. So I've always wanted to do it. So we kind of came up with these like, they're like protein donut holes. And the challenge with these ones is that it's such a unique product that's not been done before. And they're also
Yeah.
filled that it became this like very expensive, hard thing to do that a lot of like the people who do these like protein things didn't even have the equipment to do it.
Okay.
So we actually had to buy the equipment to make these things.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so that was a big investment up front for you?
Yes, yeah,
Oh, wow.
that.
Okay.
And then also it's like you're dealing with people who have never made these before. They're used to making protein bars.
Okay.
And it was like extremely hard to make the product in general. Like it was like
But how
very-
would you find all those? Like, are you Googling? Are you taking
So we were working with somebody. The guy who like ended up like making these was like he knew like some contacts in China to like we had to build the molds. At the beginning, we had someone actually literally injecting each individual one with cream.
holy okay.
So it wasn't sustainable, and also it was like it made it very inconsistent.
Right.
So we also had to develop machinery for injecting stuff. So it got to
Okay.
this point that it was like it was such a novel item
yeah.
that it kind of bit us in the ass. But in theory, it's a great product. It's just one of those things that I think that we're just too small of a company to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That it was very hard to be successful at it.
So did it run for a while, or was it a
Yes,
a
we ran. So like
one-time-
we did our minimum order and we sold it. Like everyone
Okay,
got
okay,
it. Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
it sold out instantly?
No,
Was it
not
over-
instantly. It was like couple months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was that one. And then after we came up with the protein powder, which is a whey casein blend. And the reason we could do that is because it's really good for baking. I do a lot of baking with protein powder, and it keeps, when it's a whey casein blend, it makes it more moist versus isolates dry. One thing that I learned doing this is that you have to like stay true to what you want and not listen to what other people want to do. Like we were working with a bigger company doing this, and I really wanted to come out with a glazed donut flavor. My audience would resonate with it and they'd be excited about it. But they were like, oh no, well, the most popular protein flavor is vanilla, so we gotta do vanilla. And I'm like, I don't know. They're like, let's just do vanilla first. Well, we're doing vanilla first, and then we'll do this after.
You didn't have a say, or?
It was like, I had a say, but no,
Okay.
I kind of didn't. And it was just like, I didn't feel great about it. And then it's like, you're releasing a vanilla protein powder online. There's no urge to buy it because everyone has vanilla protein powder. There's no like unique component. So it was like, it didn't do as well as it could. It annoys me to this day. I guess like overall, it was a good experience because now I know. Like what I want to do, I'm gonna be firm on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's your product. It makes sense.
Yeah.
In terms of ownership, did you own 100% of this? Was it a split with the manufacturer?
Split with the manufacturer.
Okay.
Not exactly like 50-50, but
Who had more?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At what amount of subs were you when you first started thinking about it?
1.4 million, yeah.
So for any other creators out there, what would you give as advice if they are to be embarked in a journey of creator-led business like that?
Listen to yourself.
Okay.
The thing is, you know your audience better than anybody. Like, and it's like, just because you're working with a marketing team that thinks that they know like everything, they don't know the audience like you do. You upload the videos, you interact with the comments. So don't listen to like that advice, because I know if I listened to myself and like was patient with it and like didn't let people walk all over me, I would have been so much happier with it, wanting to promote it. And who knows, probably would still be going on right now.
Yeah, true. It's something you, I guess, think about, but you can also use that for the next
Yeah,
ones
so like,
that-
I mean, that doesn't mean I'm giving up on creating products for myself. That was just a lesson learned. I'm happy it happened, and it's just gonna make the next time better.
So we're back in this kitchen where a lot of your viewers saw it often in the videos,
Yep.
right? Curious, you have this funny story here where how did you leave here?
Yeah, so basically I was doing all my videos at home, and then my mom decided that she wanted to renovate the house. Every single day for like months, there'd be like 4 dudes in the front hall, and I'd be in here naked with my apron on. And I would have to go over to them and be like, hey guys, can you just stop filming for a couple minutes? And I hated them and they hated me, so like the hatred was mutual.
That's
but
fair.
I guess it was like a blessing in disguise for my parents, because it kind of forced me to move out.
Just because of the construction, you just moved out.
Yeah, because there's so many times I'd be filming and all of a sudden you hear like the drill go, and I'd be like getting like pissed off. So I'd be like, I have to leave. So I mean, if it wasn't for that, I'd be living in my basement, maybe like eating TV dinners. Like, I don't know. Kind of made me grow up pretty fast.
That may have been
Yeah.
why you've grown.
Yeah.
Basically that 1 million to 3 million, right?
Yeah.
And I'm curious, in that era, how was growth like? What were you doing to optimize content?
I think the 0 to 1 million was like my learning phase.
Okay.
And then the 1 to 2 million is like the refining of what I learned. And I think now like the 2 to like where I'm currently at, it's kind of just like, I'm not like mastering it, but it's just polishing. I think every video there's more of like an intention. It doesn't seem like a gamble now. There's like a method to it. There's data behind it. I feel like I'm optimizing the best I can right now. It's just been the most consistent I've been and like the happiest I've been.
So after 5 years, now you would say is the happiest you've ever been in creating.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
What makes you so happy now, you would
I think
say?
there's like an actual like balance in my life.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's not just like so consuming. I think I'm actually like making what I want to make and not forcing out content. I feel like I always had to post twice a week, once a week. And it's like, it's okay to take time off, and like your subscribers are not going to kill you.
Right.
It's like you're human, so it's just like you have time. You have time to breathe, and like you have time to like live your life, and it's just a nice thing. It's an addition to my life now. It's not my consumed like everything.
What's the future looking like for the channel? What are your goals?
I think my goals are to maintain what I'm doing right now. Because I feel like I'm on a good streak where like things are going well and like videos are consistently performing good, and I kind of want to keep that up, and it's going to be a challenge, but I think with what I got planned, it's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I
nice.
guess like 5 million subscribers is like
Nice.
not like the overall goal, but it's like the next, like it's like 1, 5,
Right.
10.
So yeah, those are nice goal objective numbers, but what's the mission of the channel, let's say, for the next 5-10 years?
I don't know. I think that there's a lot of pressure on people to have like a really deep answer for this one, to like make this like huge impact. And I always say like making someone laugh is a big enough impact.
Yeah.
So just to continue what I'm doing and not to put too much pressure on having a huge message for every video, but just continue to be me and not get in any controversy and just stay in my lane. And
No, that's great. I'm sure a lot of people come to you and say it's because of you that they've started fitness journey.
Yeah.
Does that happen?
and that's definitely like motivates me to keep pushing, and then I go to these like events in like Miami coming up, and you know, you meet all these people, and you know, I only ever see like my camera.
Right.
I never actually see anyone who takes in everything, so it's cool to like see the impact and like how happy they get, and it just makes me want to do it more.
When you're at those events, it motivates
Oh,
you.
absolutely.
It's not overwhelming.
It's overwhelming,
nice.
of course,
Yeah,
and
okay.
it's very humbling, and it's like an honor that people like wait in line for you. Like it's hard to believe, and I will never get over it. You know, a lot of times I'll meet people and I'll recognize like their comments, and it's just nice to like be able to meet the community, and yeah, it just makes me feel good.
Nice.
Yeah.
And a final question: What's your big dream? For a lot of people, you are living the dream, right?
Yeah.
But what's your dream?
Oh man, just have a family, be happy, be healthy,
Okay.
not have to worry, not have to be stressed, and just be around my family.
Okay.
Nothing fancy. I think that when I was younger, it was like money motivated, material motivated. But I think that when you get older, it matters so much less, and you realize you don't need nearly as much money as you thought you did. Mm-hmm. And the things that matter are your health and your family. So if I'm good and like I'm happy and I can do what I want to do in a low stress environment, then I'm winning.
Well, you're definitely on the right path for that.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
you're showing it to everyone. Thanks for joining us on
Thanks,
the
man.
1
I
of 10
appreciate it.
pod.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Guys, I'm in one of the coldest city on the planet to interview Will Tennyson. The only thing I'm asking is to subscribe and watch other videos, all right? I'm gonna try to survive now.